Now, while this browser works pretty well for very basic sites that just have text and some pictures, if you downloaded this browser with the hope that you'd be able to watch streaming videos such as those found on YouTube, you're not going to have a very easy time with that. In fact, you'll find that impossible, for the reason being that the DSi browser does not support either Java or Flash. There's no support for either plugin. And that is my biggest problem with this browser. This browser is very much identical to the original DS browser that was released almost 3 years ago. That browser did not have any Flash or Java support either. Now, while the actual pages of a site like YouTube will load just fine, and you'll see the thumbnail images of some of the videos, when you actually try to view one of the videos, it won't work. It'll just give you an error message that says you don't have any Flash or Java support installed. So that's pretty much it for the DS browser. Overall, I'd say it's the least impressive feature of the DSi, in the fact that because it doesn't have any Flash or Java support, its uses are very limited, especially in this day and age when so many websites take advantage of those two plugins. Now, it is entirely possible that Nintendo could update this browser in the future, which they couldn't with the old browser, but it is technically possible for them to update this. But if and when that happens, I don't know. But hopefully they will update it someday. And lastly, guys, I'm just throwing this in as a little extra. I want to quickly mention some of the minor little hardware alterations that Nintendo has made to the DSi. First of all, let's start with the hot swapping game card feature. Now, normally, if you were to pull your game card out of your old DS, the system would freeze up. But with the DSi, you can hot swap cards while the system is still on. I just pulled Fire Emblem out, and now I'm going to put in Moon while the system is still on. And just like that, Moon is instantly recognized by the DS. And by the way, if you don't know what Moon is, go check out my review of it. It's a very well-made, very awesome first-person shooter for the DS. It's one of the system's best. Now, secondly, you can now adjust brightness on the fly. Hold down the select button and toggle the volume controls up or down, and you can adjust the brightness higher or lower. And you can do this in-game, too. You don't have to exit out to the menus. And finally, the power button on the DSi is now a reset button. You just hit it once, and the system automatically resets itself and returns to the menu, even if you're in a game or on the browser or in the camera or anywhere. Again, not major features, but they are very cool little additions. So overall, I like the DSi quite a lot. I think it's a very nice upgrade to an already outstanding game system, specifically for a few reasons. Number one, the two cameras, which now open up a whole host of new gameplay possibilities. The inclusion of an online shop, along the lines of what you'd find on the iPhone, where you can download cheaper, smaller games, is great, and it gives a chance for these kind of games that on any other medium would never see the light of day. It gives them a chance to thrive, which is great. The promise of DSi enhanced games is also very enticing, and we'll probably hear more about this subject from Nintendo at this year's E3. And speaking of DSi enhanced games, the inclusion of an SD card slot that could be used to house such things as new stages, new weapons, new characters, new songs for a future Guitar Hero game is very cool. So, should you buy a DSi? Well, here's what I would suggest. If you still don't own a DS after all this time and you've been thinking about getting one for a while, then yes, absolutely, the DSi is a must-buy Forget the DS Lite even exists. Get the DSi. Enjoy all the bells and whistles. Play it and love it, because it's an awesome system. Also, if you still actively play your DSi on one of these fat boys right here, then I would also highly, highly suggest that you upgrade to the DSi. If for no other reason than for the sake of your vision. The screens on the DS Lite and the DSi are far, far superior to the dark screens of the original DS Fat. So I say, give this big boy a rest, and your eyes will thank you. And finally, for all you DS Lite owners out there who are totally happy and satisfied with your system, you really don't have any major reason to upgrade it at this point. The DSi is still in its infancy, and it's going to take developers at least 6 months, maybe a year, before they really start utilizing the features such as the 2 cameras, and the DSi shop gets some really killer games that you just got to download. The DS Lite still does an incredible job of playing the great library of games that it has. So for you guys, maybe not worth it right now, but you might want to reconsider at some point in the future. So that concludes my review for the DSi. Thank you to everyone who watched. Feel free to leave me a rating or a comment. Got a lot more reviews planned for the future, so keep an eye out for those. Again, I'm EVILC. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you guys later.